And sign number 3 is they follow a very predictable cycle of behaviors. This is the narcissistic abuse cycle. 1 is love bombing, 2 is devaluing, 3 is discarding, 4 is Hoover. This cycle will become so predictable that you'll be able to tell exactly when these different phases are going to occur.
This expert goes over 3 signs that you are in a narcissistic relationship. And the third one is honestly the most important, because how you can tell that your relationship is actually narcissistic or toxic and not just part of a normal series of working through problems with your partner is the pattern of abuse. So she talks about how originally it will start out as a honeymoon period, love bombing. Then eventually you'll start to sense that the narcissist's mood is changing. He starts to become very critical. It's a sense that you have. And you start to act differently so that he doesn't blow up at you, or you might have an emotional reaction to his behavior. This turns into an out of control abusive event where I like to call it a mantrum. He loses his mind, he blows it way out of proportion. You get in a huge fight. The fight is usually not really resolved in a healthy way. Either he stonewalls you, blame shifts, gaslights, employs all of the narcissistic fighting techniques, and then you make up and the honeymoon period starts again and the cycle goes round and round and round. It's insidious and it's hard to notice because in regular relationships with healthy people, you will have disagreements, you will have fights, and you'll usually resolve those fights and then come back together and have a pretty even keeled relationship for the most part. How you know it's narcissistic though is it's cyclical, around and around and around. It never really resolves itself. You never really grow or come to a common consensus after a fight like this. In a healthy relationship, these types of push and pull dynamics will actually lead to growth and change because both partners are committed to understanding one another. But with a narcissist, they're not committed to understanding you. And in fact, it's just this cycle. And as it progresses in the relationship, the honeymoon period gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So pretty soon you're just vacillating between 2 cycles of tension, being on edge, feeling that he's unhappy, huge explosive mantrums or explosive events, and then a short little tiny honeymoon period where you come back together and then back to the toxicity. And that's how you know it's narcissistic and abusive.